The best way to hype up a championship race? Have absolutely no clue what's going on to claim the title. No clue who's going to win it. No clue what's even going to happen. And yep, that's what we've got this evening. Brandon Plank is down and out, missing the final race of the season, while Travis Miller and Brett Rolls are tied. And might be just, and I do mean just, close enough for one of them to win it. How's it go down in Charlotte tonight? Well, you gotta watch and find out. That's the fancy thing about it. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Joe Donahue. Joe, welcome to the virtual dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where this is it, the final race of the 14-race season.
Here we are at one of the big racetracks for dirt racing in America. This is the place to go for a finale. It's a great little racetrack for all these big block modifieds to culminate their seasons and go out one last time, hopefully with a bang, and end on a high note. Try to do your best. There's points on the line, there's money on the line, there's pride on the line, and it's all going to be settled right here on this track tonight.
There is a decent bit of cash on the line, as well as you mentioned, pride. I think feelings, certainly. A little bit of bragging rights as we go into a bit of a downtime for these guys. I'm sure a little bit of an off-season is on the way, so certainly a lot on the line in this one race alone. And that's what we were talking about. Is, we still don't know what is going to happen. As here we have a look at cars on the racetrack here in Charlotte. Now, if you recall all the way back to late October, we actually had Media Day here, Joe, and that was a great opportunity for us to meet a lot of the drivers, one of which leads the points now and just might hang on to clinch this thing before the night is over. Or I guess when the night is over, technically.
Yeah, Brandon Plank sitting at the top right now, unfortunately unable to join the group of everybody here tonight. Travis Miller, Brett Rolls, they've had a tight and a tough battle all season long, and it comes right down to the wire. They're tied in second place right now. They could get that top spot. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out, but they're going to be, either way, they're going to be looking at trying to beat each other. So that's going to be a really great on-track battle to watch tonight. You got other guys. I mean, Jamie Porter's only 5 points out of fourth place. You look further down, you got guys like Adam Hilton and Tyler Joshambowski only 1 point apart. Everybody in this field is going to want to be getting that extra edge, getting those extra positions, and trying to move a little bit higher in these rankings at the end of the season. But that championship fight, that's definitely going to be a talking point and something to watch throughout this feature tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the top three in the series, and that will obviously be the center of the evening. We'll still talk about those other guys, those other positions that still have to be sorted out. You see Fritz and Matthews 1 point apart, and several other battles. But really, the focus is the championship this evening. And if you're Travis Miller or Brett Rolls, you have to make max points. You have to go out there, you have to get this pole, and if you don't get this pole, I think we're already talking about Brandon Plank potentially having the championship, but it goes through the heats. Do Miller and Rolls win their heats? Alright, if they do, then it goes on into the feature race. Do they lead laps? Do they get the fastest lap? Do they maximize everything out of this evening? If so, we're talking about a chance for them to win the championship. But if not, well, unfortunately, I think it's going the way of Brandon Plank, even though these two are here this evening to try and take it. And the first guy I think that has a great opportunity to take it from them is this guy right here, Michael Hackett. Always so good in qualifying, Joe, and he's going to give it his best shot this evening. Susie up first, goes fastest, and there we go. The 084, the 84H, whichever one it is for you, he's right to the top.
Yeah, we call him Straight Jacket for some of the driving that he does as he goes second. Now Travis Miller takes that top spot from him. We know Michael Hackett is a guy who gets around a track well when it's still tacky, and he's proven it right there. Only, what, 1/1000th of a difference between him and Travis Miller? Holy cow.
Now, Brett Rolls is not going to go pole. He's 17th and dropping. Travis Miller, however, has gone pole and has a pretty good look, maybe, to go ahead and obviously take those pole points and go on and win. I mean, already the 22 looks fast, and again, you have to get these 2 points for putting the car on pole, having the fastest qualifying time. Otherwise, that's already 2 points that you cannot get, and when you need 27, Joe, that's a lot. Now, you can do it with max points. Depending on how the drops all work out, you can do it, but it's going to take max points and a whole lot of luck.
Yeah, but we've talked about Travis Miller as a guy who's got the adversity to be able to perform in these sorts of situations, and if he can get that bonus point from qualifying, he could get 4 from a heat race. Now he's got 5 already tonight, and then he's got to obviously move through the feature, but it's definitely doable, and he's putting himself in a really great position to be able to fight for his right to the championship tonight. So Scott Fritz on the screen right now in the 48. Another guy we're used to seeing really good on the tacky tracks, and a guy who's been having some pretty solid runs this season. He goes third on the board, and actually looking at the board, seeing Dan Sider in fourth place, kind of a nice little surprise there at the top, ending out this final qualifying session of the season.
And the top 5 within a half a tenth of each other, just 5/100ths of a second separating them, and you can go all the way down to it looks like the entire top 12 are within a tenth, and then there's a bit of a jump back to Dennis Cardinal in 13th, who is here this evening. Good to see him. Have not seen that name in a little while, so yeah, good to have him back. It looks like we have 24 cars as well, which is going to speed up the night. I don't know. We'll see how that affects these drivers, particularly, again, Miller and Rolls. And now the other thing is Miller starts on pole for his heat, the first heat that we have coming up in just a moment, and Brett Rolls is already starting quite deep within whatever heat he's going to be in. I think he was one of the slowest qualifiers this evening. So, yeah, already the odds stacked against the 17R and in favor then of the 22, but it's a matter of executing for the entire evening. You can't just qualify and get the championship. Grid number 1 on the day, Travis Miller puts it on pole. That is the Thriller. That's why he's, called the Thriller. He's going to give this thing a chance. And I think just might have he certainly got the edge over Brett Rolls. It's a matter of if Brett Rolls can still contend. Dan Sider will start second here in heat number 1. Jamie Porter, Travis Miller's teammate, will probably take it easy on him here these first few laps in this heat, starting from third. Same with Matt DeRitter there in fourth. Dennis Cardinal rolls out fifth, and Hunter Holberg there in sixth spot. Adam Hilton and Jeff Sharp will make up the final row of 8 cars. 4 rows here for heat number 1. We'll have 3 heat races of 8 set the field.
Yeah, we're going to have 3 of those heat races, and this first one is packed to the brim with Beef Esports drivers. I think we have 5 of them in this first heat race of the night. Travis Miller, Matt DeRitter, Jamie Porter, Hunter Holberg, and that's going to be interesting to see, what that dynamic's like for these guys all being teammates together. But I'm watching Dan Sider. This is a great start to the night for him. He's had some nights that have not started so great this season, so we're definitely looking for that 77 to do pretty well. I'm looking for the back of the grid too. Jeff Sharp, Adam Hilton. I mean, Adam Hilton's got a win this season. Sharp's been pretty strong. It's a pretty good lineup for this first heat race of the night.
A shout out to our social media team and Emerson Arden on the coverage this evening, and a shout out as well to Niagara Go-Karts bringing you this evening's coverage, bringing you this evening's race as a whole. Tonight's presenting partner here at the dirt track at Charlotte for championship night. Cars into I want to say that is the west side of the speedway now. As we come out of turn number 4, we're going to light them up, and green flag is out. Miller a little bit slow to the punch, but we are racing at Charlotte. Lap 1, complete quick, and that goes the way of Sider across the line, but only just. We've got a nice little battle up here at the front.
There's a lot of grip in this racetrack still. It's given these guys a really good opportunity to run side by side. It's actually pretty impressive. We've almost basically done pace laps right here. We go 3 wide for the race lead out of the corner. Dan Sider's going to snag the lead at the line again. And this isn't really shaping up to what Travis Miller needs right now, seeing that 77 go around the outside of him and take that lead spot. But hey, any bonus points will help right now, and Travis Miller might have to settle for second if his teammate, Jamie Porter, doesn't try to steal it from him.
Yeah, he needs his teammates right now to sit back and just play guard right now. He needs all the points he can get. And, oh, there we go. Matt DeRitter gets turned around in turn 2. Adam Hilton and Hunter Holberg go along with. We stay green, though. Sider leading. It's Miller. There we go. A caution flag will fly for Matt DeRitter and Hunter Holberg on the backstretch.
Yeah, it looked like, I think Hunter Holberg got into that corner a little bit quick there. Obviously, we'll get a replay, but that's a tough break for Matt DeRitter. He was sitting in the spot where he could have gotten some bonus points for himself out of this heat race, so that's just, not the way that we wanted to see Matt DeRitter's night go, the linear winner in the 03 machine.
He was racing there with Dennis Cardinal, and that's where this contact will originate. This was for 4th position, and actually, no, it's not as Cardinal, it's his own teammate. Hunter Holberg comes up. Adam Hilton kind of helps him around and all of that, but really was just a victim. And that is your first incident of the evening, just like that.
Not too major, but definitely some fairly good implications right there, especially considering 2 Beef Esports drivers. So we'll see what happens with those guys as the night continues on, but they're starting from the back and looking at another restart here. We'll see what...
We're going to have 2 laps once we go back green. This will extend. The heat races get extended, but otherwise this would take us to 1 to go once we get 1 to green, I suppose. Once we go green, rather. But yeah, there you go, 7 of 9 now. So we'll go 2 more green flag laps, but that's going to put the pressure on Travis Miller.
Yeah, for sure. But now he's starting on the outside. Dan Sider was on the outside for the original start and made it work very well. So there's a little bit of grip up there. We're wondering, is Travis Miller going to be able to make that, capitalize on that with now starting on the outside of that 77 machine?
He's going to have to try. The Gaston's Auto Sales number 22 coming into turns 3 and 4. Now leaving turns 3 and 4. Green flag is back out in Heat 1.
A huge jump for Dan Sider right there. Jamie Porter looking to the inside of his teammate. Cardinal goes all the way up to the top of the racetrack in the 31 machine. Miller's going to hold on to second, at least down the back straightaway. Porter looking to the bottom, but Dan Sider is out and clear as he comes to the white flag.
White flag presented by Whiplash Simcams, and it is a gaggle for second on back, but this is bad news for Travis Miller and Travis Miller fans. That's 1 point that he could have gotten out the window for the number 22. We'll see if he can still do it, though, this evening. Across the line, Sider takes the heat race. Everybody else comes on through 2nd through 8th. You can see them there on your ticker, and that is heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 then on the way, Joseph.
Yes, and let's see that starting lineup for your second heat race of the night. We start on the front row. Straight jacket, Michael Hackett in the 84H. He starts on pole. He's got Tyler Joshimbowski to his outside in one of those red and black number 88 cars. Starting on the 3rd spot in row number 2, you got Brian Berger in the 60 machine and Tyler Pachalski in the 21P on his outside. In row number 3, the inside starts with the 9 machine. That's Joe Matthews. Nice first name. I like the looks. And Mike Wenner to his outside in that number 23, black and yellow. Looking good for 6th on the grid. 7th place, Richard Pereira in the 96 machine. And outside, last driver on the grid, that is Brett Rolls, fighting for a championship run. And he's got to start from the last spot in heat race number 2, Andrew.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge. Coming from the back of the heat is not what you want, especially when you can get 4 points if you win the thing. 3 for second, 2 for third, and 1 for fourth. That's what we're talking about there. What we're talking about, I guess, with Travis Miller and losing a point to Dan Sider in that heat race. He needed, and I really do mean needed, to win that heat race. Every point he loses out on tonight is going to complicate things. Same thing for Brett Rolls. He's already lost out on pole points. He desperately needs these heat race points if he wants a chance, as the pace truck will dive down to the safety of pit lane and leave the field in the hands of the one, the only straight jacket Michael Hackett. So fast in qualifying, puts himself on pole for another heat race. Contact already with Joshimbowski as we come to the green flag. They're going to hit maybe again. Green flag is now out in heat 2. Contact in the back. Lap 1, though, going to go the way of Hackett.
There's still contact going on. Mike Wenner or is that Tyler Pachalski, rather, up back at the end of the grid. They're still working things out back there. As you see Joe Matthews and Pereira now, they kind of fell back, but they are still within the grasps of each other. Michael Hackett leads the way. Tyler Pachalski comes back out onto the track. He's still trying to get that car figured out as Joshimbowski hits the wall a little bit, and the 21P going to stay to the inside and let Straight Jacket go through, leading the way in heat race number 2. And Brian Berger's got a strong run going right now in 2nd place as well.
Nice little gaggle back here in what would be the transfer spots if this was one of those races where we're sending cars home, but we're just under the car limit by 2, so we don't have to worry about consolations or anything this evening, or even transfers here to muck anything up, as, oh my goodness, that was close there with Wenner. Now he slides up behind Joshimbowski a little bit, and here comes Rolls. He's rolling on through the field, but not quick enough.
Right now, Mike Wenner really seems to have those elbows out, and Brett Rolls looking for an opportunity. He's got a 3-wide situation with the lap car. Tyler Pachalski down low. He on board. He goes around the outside. No trouble from that slower machine, but he's still got Joshimbowski and Wenner going at it right in front of him. He's in 5th, so he's not going to get any bonus points if he sits right there. I'm thinking it's going to be starting to get crunch time for that 17 car. Is he going to be able to make this pass on Joshimbowski? Not quite in 3 and 4.
He did float it to the inside and try, but nothing yet. Now goes back to the bottom, working on Joshimbowski. That's a point now for the 17R. Clear him up out of turn 2. Yeah, he's got him. Now he's going to go after Wenner. They kind of float right to the bottom one more time as we come to the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams. There we go. As that is 1 lap to go in heat number 2. Roll still on the bottom side, but has the spot easily over Wenner now. So that is 1 more point. 2 points then the haul for Brett Rolls. checkered flag is out for Michael Hackett. That's Heat 2 in the books.
Hackett, Berger, Wenner. Great run for Brian Berger. Not a guy we know as being very especially strong when the track's still young like this, but that's an excellent way to start things off in your last race of the season.
Pereira Matthews, they had a great battle further back, and Matthews wins it, of those two anyways. Pachalski, the 8th car, will wrap up that heat as we wait on the session to tick on over to Heat 3. I actually don't know why we're still sitting here. There we go. Now it heads on over. iRacing was just thinking for a moment. Grid 3 then on the evening for Heat number 3, and it's going to look like this. On pole is Scott Fritz, the number 48. He's been oh so good lately, and he's going to try and stay that way here in this third heat. The Wild Child, Tana Correa, will line up on the outside of row number 1. Ryan Susi rolls off from the 3rd spot. It's Alan Slight rolling off 4th in that brand new electric paint scheme. Love the Slight electrical colors on that 2 car. Starting 5th, it's Gavin Isley in the 18. Dean Meitzer rolls off 6th. And your back row this evening in the final heat of the night, that's Corby Daniels and Ryan Beagle. Now, I do want to just say, if I end up short-winded at any point this evening, if I end up maybe with some background coughing or silent for a minute, do apologize, but the advent of this being, you know, I guess, remote broadcasting, we're very far apart, Joe and I can continue to broadcast even though I do have the coronavirus. I do have COVID-19, so I apologize there, but this has been an experience, Joe, preparing for these broadcasts while having all that going on. Regardless, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy that I was still able to wake up this morning and, broadcast this race with everybody, and hopefully everybody is staying safe themselves. It's kind of opened my eyes a little more as we get ready for Heat Race 3. Scott Fritz will roll off, again, from the pole position, and I think this will be a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. We're really glad to have you here. Obviously, Andrew, you put a lot together for this series. The green flag's going to come out. They're going to give you one more heat race to have some fun with before we get to the feature tonight. It's glad to have everybody else with us as well, and hopefully, Andrew, as the green flag comes out, you're the only one with COVID here, and we can enjoy ourselves another 8 laps of action.
That is the hope, though I do hope, if anybody is sick along with me, that this brings some good moments to you this evening as lap 1 and Heat 3 wraps up, and it's Scott Fritz across the line.
Tanner Correa putting a ton of pressure on as well. Ryan Susi down low as Gavin Isley also following sort of on the bottom side. They're getting squirrely right there with Tanner Correa and Alan Slight. That car's looking too good.
The argiest of bargies.
That was an argy-bargy. I love that you brought that up. That's one of my favorite quotes. Corby Daniels upside down. That car gets settled back in, and man, that beautiful new number 2 machine gets all wadded up in 3 and 4. That's such an unfortunate deal for Alan Slight.
That is a really good-looking 2 car. I'll give props to BRP iRacing Series partner Matt Ritter Designs. That's a good one there. As the rest of these guys do battle up front, Scott Fritz leading. We're coming to halfway already in this heat. Susi 2nd. It's Isley 3rd, and Correa sitting there in 4th.
Yeah, this is a nice little group right here. I think Fritz, Susi, and Isley, obviously Correa holding on to the back of this as well. But right now, those 3 are looking like it's going to, they get a little bit of contact right as I say it, and everybody's getting into each other in 1 and 2. It was looking like it was going to shape up for a nice little run for Ryan Susi, but he runs into the rear of Scott Fritz, and as they come to the line again, 3 to go, Isley's looking for 2nd place on the inside of that 38 machine.
Beagle's hanging on as well. He's sorted into 5th after all that melee early. Isley and Susi side by side. Susi going to go way up high and paint the wall a little bit as Isley tries to slide him a tiny bit. No dice.
They come past again, 2 to go. Scott Fritz has 5 heat race wins on the season. He's looking to tie Travis Miller for 6. That would be the most of the drivers for this whole season. The white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams going to come out for the 48 machine as Isley and Susi looking at each other, and Correa's trying to make a run in the middle. They might be 3 wide out of the corner.
They are 3 wide. Correa backs out. It's Isley and Susi side by side. Now to turn 4. Scott Fritz makes it 6. Heat wins on the season. The race to the line, I think, goes the way of Ryan Susi. How about that for a heat race finish? As the last couple of cars of Meitzer and Slate come across, and that will wrap up our heat racing portion of the evening here for championship night at Charlotte, brought to you by Niagara Go-Karts. A lot of other great partners with the BRP iRacing series, of course. You start off every single time. You have to start off with Bicknell Racing Products, of course, the namesake of the BRP iRacing series. Let's not forget MDR Designs. We just had that fantastic workout there, brought to you by MDR Designs. I think that's a great ad in and of itself for the number 2 car, but also your one-stop shop for all things graphic design. Find them on Facebook at MDR Designs, helping you look the best you possibly can. Jam Performance, if you know, you know. Proud supporter of the BRP iRacing series. Lindy Direct, the largest industrial, medical, and specialty gas supplier in the world. And Joe, I said it, in the world. I really do mean in the world.
Do you mean like the world, like the whole world, like everybody in the world?
Yeah. You know, the place that has 7 continents and a little bit of water sprinkled on there, and, you know, some snow and all that? Yeah. That place, the world.
Oh, the place with, like, the penguins and the tigers and everything?
Yeah, and the race cars and the racetracks, and you and me and everybody else here that needs to check out lindydirect.com for more information about Lindy Gas and equipment. Creative Turnings, custom wood and acrylic pens, bowls, cutting boards, and more. Find them on Facebook and pick up the perfect present for the ones you love. Creative Turnings of Waterford, Connecticut has what you are looking for. I and they guarantee that. Of course, last but not least, right down there at the bottom, the Super Dirt Car Series, the Northeast Premier Series, showcasing the big block modified Premier drivers, the ground-pounding, earth-shattering, window-rattling beasts of the Northeast. It is the Super Dirt Car Series. Now I'm going to catch my breath after all of that, and we're going to take a quick step aside and get ready for feature racing from the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We've got a feature race of 70 laps to decide a championship on the way for the BRP iRacing series.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home by combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back to the virtual dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's been a 14 race season. 13 of those races are done and dusted. They are packed away on the memory shelf. But tonight, we get one more to wrap this thing up. We've seen the standings already. Let's take a look then at the schedule and how we got here, Joe. Lernerville, Fallujah, Limerland, Weedsport, Knoxville, Cedar Lake, USA, Kokomo, Fallujah, Lanier, Bristol, Fairbury, Eldora, and now Charlotte.
That was impressive. That was a nice read-off right there. It's been a heck of a season. Started back in November of 2021, last year. It's been a lot of back and forths between big tracks, small tracks, bank tracks, flat tracks, all sorts of great stuff. And these last 2 weeks we've talked about being a little bit more similar between each other, but it's been a heck of a run for all of these guys. Super proud and proud to be a part of it, and impressed by all the people who were able to get here every week and compete for wins all the time.
There you see an overhead of the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is a pretty standard dirt track when you look at the blue track anyways. The yellow track there on the inside, just the pit lane, is kind of weird for iRacing, I guess for what most people would expect, but it's got to work for iRacing, and iRacing makes it work pretty nicely. We've got a field of 24 out on the dirt, ready to go racing. Let's check them out. Starting on pole, it is Dan Sider. How about that? The number 77 will start this race from first. Michael Hackett will start from second. Starting third, it's going to be Scott Fritz, another heat race winner in the number 48 with the thriller Travis Miller, the top of the two championship contenders, not named Brandon Plank this evening. He will roll off from fourth. Starting fifth, it's Brian Berger in the 60. Ryan Susi rolls off sixth. And your back four competitors here in this race, Jamie Porter, and then the other championship competitor we're keeping our eyes on, Brett Rolls. Let's not forget Gavin Isley in ninth and Dennis Cardinal in 10th.
Rolling back to row number 6, you start on the inside with Mike Wenner in the Lindy car, Tanner Korea to his outside in the 11, starting 13th on the inside of row number 7. You've got Adam Hilton in the 3A. Tyler Joshimbowski in the 88 to his outside in 14th. 15th on the grid, you've got the number 84 of Ryan Beagle looking to make some ground up. Jeff Sharp to his outside in the 28. Then you go back to 17th on the grid on the inside. There it comes, Joe Matthews in the jam number 9 with Dean Meisler to his outside in the 49 machine. And on row 10 in this field tonight, Matt DeRitter in the MDR Designs 03, Richard Pereira to his outside in the 96.
4 more cars, and they are the Slight Electrical number 2 of Alan Slight, then the Double H of Hunter Holberg, and the 21 of Pachalski on the inside of the 88 of The Beef, Corby Daniels, starting from the 24th position. So 24 cars ready to get things rocking and rolling, as Emerson Arden might say this evening, from the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 70 laps, that's the distance. We've had 3 heat races rather, of 8 laps apiece. That makes it, quick maths, 94 laps. Let's get it done. Green flag is out from Charlotte. Already contact. Isley is around one other car and one of the tires, and a caution flag is out. Those are Isley and Porter on the bottom side.
A nice little wad up there right to start off this race. Not what anybody wanted. Jamie Porter, I think that car might have a bit of damage on it. He's trying to feel it out right now. You see on your screen just kind of sliding the car, feeling how the balance has maybe changed on that machine, and that's really not the way to start off the last race of the season. But down but not out. You know, Jamie's going to be on a charge, I feel.
This seems to have actually included a little bit of the 17 of Rolls. We'll take a wide look at things here. Watch the black, blue, and orange 17 car topside. And you'll see Porter on the very bottom just get into Berger a little bit, and you see where Rolls gets into that a little bit, just gets stacked up as the other guy is in the back. That's where the actual caution comes from, the actual issue with Porter and Berger stacking up. And who was it? I had him in my brain for a second. I called him out when I saw it happen. Isley was also part of that, as Isley had nowhere to go. Yeah,
Isley, Wenner, even Beagle, Hilton. Ooh. Hey, Alan Slight kept the car looking good, at least through turn 1. Oh, maybe he got a little bit of Wenner in there at the end of it. Almost for that nice new yellow and green car. But, yeah, it's just a stack up, and sort of the nature of the beast. It's how things go sometimes, so we'll have to see. These guys kind of learn what they need to do to avoid that sort of situation again in this next restart, and avoid another yellow flag off on the green flag when we come back to racing again.
It's another start opportunity then for Travis Miller. If he learned anything there, he can try and help himself. The problem is everybody else is learning things as well as we get ready to go for our first restart of the feature race. 70 laps the distance. Let's try this one more time. Green flag is out. It's lap 2.
And this restart gave the opportunity to Sider, who's blinking from the lead, to control it a little bit better. We look clean so far. Sider leads into turn 3, goes sort of a midline. And that 77 car, I think it's going to be his first lap led in the series.
Gets one there as we roll on to lap number 3. He's got some company, though. Scott Fritz is not laying back very much. You can see Hackett there as well, as Miller has moved down to the bottom side. Watch that yellow 22 car.
Yeah, Travis Miller, I don't think he's going to wait that long. I mean, he's in fourth.
He can't with that guy right behind him.
Wow. I didn't even see that 17 car come into frame. Brett Rolls just made up a ton of time, and look where he is. He's right behind the Thriller. Oh my, didn't see that at all.
Yeah, so down a point from Miller's advancements in the heat races, an extra couple of points from qualifying. It's going to be tough. I don't think that Brett Rolls gets the max points he needs. Certainly this evening will not get max points. I don't know, though. I'm not a mathematician. I don't know exactly how this is going to work out. I just know the odds are stacked against both of them, as now the Thriller goes up top. Wasn't finding the speed he wanted down low, and these guys ran the track in a good ways in the warm-up session where we took our break. They don't usually do that. Usually they stay off of the racetrack, preserve it, but without consolations, and this being a longer racetrack, Joe, and wider racetrack as well to spread up the line, they opted to run it in a little bit more. As here we go, a challenge for the lead on lap 7.
Yeah, it's looking right now like they might have done a good thing for this racetrack. It's a little racy, and Michael Hackett powers around the outside of Dan Sider. He goes to second, a little bit of a blink there from that car again, but you've got Straight Jacket on the outside making that little lisp of grip work at the top. They call it the cushion, and he's rocking it up there. Dan Sider moves up to Travis Miller in third right now as they all kind of go single file this time past the stripe.
The whole field looking pretty good all the way back to Corby Daniels in the 24th position. As it's Hackett out front rolling away with this lead. He's been so good early in races, but late in races, things have gone not his way. Things have definitely worked against him later on in these races in the BRP iRacing series, and he's had to give up a couple of wins, potentially. Here we go. There's a battle behind these guys. Berger and Correa are after. You got Cardinal in the conversation as well. Susie here with Wenner fighting on the bottom side, even Beagle in that conversation. A lot's going on further back behind the leaders.
Yeah, these guys are starting to get into the rough and tumble of the nice little group battle in the mid-pack right now. Things are looking good there. They're spaced out a lot. I like the way that they're giving each other a nice amount of space right now. At least I don't want to give them a commentator's curse. I'm trying my best to kind of walk on eggshells through that one, but they're doing a good job in the midfield right now. Travis Miller looking to the outside of Dan Sider. This will be a pass for second if he can make it work. He's been running the top side a couple laps now. Sider's gone back and forth. Ooh, contact with Rolls and Fritz behind him as they go double file on the front stretch again. And it looks like they're all almost sort of catching Hackett a little bit. There's Fritz breathing down the neck of Travis Miller.
Sider's connection is getting a little bit worse right now. I wonder how long it is until he pulls down and lets these guys go. Hopefully it doesn't impact the battle at all as we work lap 14 now of 70. We're, 1/5 of the way into this one then is, man, you can see just so close in the corners, the 22 and the 48. And there was one other yellow and red 22 car that just won this weekend out of the LA Coliseum for the Busch Light Clash. I wonder then if that's a good omen for Travis Miller. Oh, maybe not! Oh. He gets put in the fence! You're kidding me!
Right on screen. Scott Fritz, what is that?
Scott Fritz, I'm sorry, but you got to have more awareness when racing a championship competitor. You can't put him in the fence, whether it's accidental or not. You can't afford to do that.
That was very unfortunate for Travis Miller right there, especially that he didn't even get back on the wheels and has to reset that number 22 car. I mean, we saw it on screen. You'll get another replay back. Watch this go all the way through. And that 48 car is on a tear to try to be aggressive right here, but a little too aggressive into the turn.
Unfortunately, he is rightfully so being put to the back of the field. I mean, you just can't do that this early in this race when it's a championship competitor. And you're not even racing for the lead. I get it. It's a mistake, but you just can't do that.
I'm wondering what sort of situation this is going to put Travis Miller in.
I mean,
this
he's
track,
gonna have to tow. I mean, his race is done. I don't think he even gets back on the lead lap unless we get a slew of cautions. He's going to be at least one lap, if not 2 laps down. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, and this racetrack right now, it just doesn't. It doesn't feel like this racetrack's really in a position where he's going to be able to get back up there as quickly.
No.
Yeah, just gets that door slam. But it seems like the track's racy enough, but it's got enough grip in it that everybody's kind of spacing out, but not. The difference between drivers and cars isn't as big as it probably should be for Travis to be able to work his way back up to the front right at this moment in time. If he can get that car back out on track, that'll help. But
he's still waiting on a tow. The damage hasn't even fixed itself. You can see the damage there on the nose of the car. He's still waiting on a tow, and we're about to restart. I can't believe that. Michael Hackett is your control car. Sider second. Green flag is back out. Lap 16 now of 70.
Nice control for Straight Jacket off the restart. Rolls in the wall pretty significantly, and a little stack up behind him. Correa had to get on the binders, and everybody else behind him kind of checked up, and now they're running the middle. There's a couple cars going around in the middle of 3 and 4. maybe give an opportunity for Miller to get back out there if a yellow would come out for that, but I think we're all right for the moment.
So we keep after it here. Sider and Rolls, that's now the battle to watch. Watch that 17 car. Miller did get back on the racetrack. He's only one lap down, and I would imagine has that damage repaired. Yes, he does, and he's right in front of Scott Fritz. Caution is out. I believe that's Dean Meitzler with problems.
Oh, we saw Jeff Sharp's just a little bit of it. He got loose in 3 off of that first lap of the restart, but he got the car under control enough that we didn't get a yellow. But then Dean Meitzler, this is a mess right here. Whoa.
A lot going on here through 3 and 4. A lot of jostling, a lot of beating and banging. That's the good stuff when they can hang on to it like that. But unfortunately, there's an issue. Meitzler might have dropped out of the race, actually. Might have connectioned out, and the spin may have been Corby Daniels with that tiny spin on the bottom side of the racetrack. If so, I hardly even put that on Corby. That's a weird caution to get when sometimes we have spins in front of the entire field and we don't get a yellow.
I wonder what kind of situation iRacing saw to bring this yellow out. I don't know, but Dean Meitzler, as far as we see here, it looks like he drops out, which is unfortunate for him. Dean really wanted to put together a really good effort this season, and he had some shining moments, but today will not be on that list if he did so. Just drop out right there. You saw it. And there's Corby. Oh, slide, gets into the infield. Nothing too major for the 88.
It's been a rough season for Corby. It really has. I know there's been a lot of stress that's coming with this season as well. The largest car counts the series has ever had. There's been a lot for him to try and keep track of. I'm glad he's made it through it, though. He's here, race 14. He's still ripping, trying to turn as many laps as he can. But I know it's been some work. Travis Miller is going to restart this race on the lead lap, albeit mired all the way back in 23rd. Let's watch this restart from his point of view. Your control car, that's Hackett. Outside is Sider. Green flag.
I was wondering if Corby would give him a line here, and he does. Those are teammates. Corby's really not having the best of days right now. Travis Miller needs to get on a charge. He's got a lot of beef esports teammates actually back here. Holberg and DeRitter, the 2 cars in front of him, are also beef esports as he's getting on. He's got a couple passes in off that first lap, so he's got time, and maybe he'll have the advantage. Who knows?
Keep your eye on that yellow 22. Submarine now, hopefully airplane by the end of the race. And now we watch the 17 car as Ryan Beagle's got a problem. Caution is back out. I mean, this is exactly what Travis Miller does need, by the way. That this is only going to help him, but how much?
Well, as long as he can get an inside line on the restarts, that really seemed to be of an advantage for him that time through at least. But Ryan Beagle around. Man, Brian Berger rolling. Nice restart for that 60 car up at the front end. As you see, Slight just kind of comes down a little too much on Beagle. That 84, no, not too much damage-wise.
Slight contact?
Love it. That was a good one.
I try sometimes. Not very often, but sometimes. As the 84H is still your race leader under caution flag conditions. We don't usually get a whole lot of caution flags to just see these guys paced. Usually the replays kind of buy up our time. At this point, though, Joe, we've really got to focus on Brett Rolls, I think. 50 laps to go when we restart. He's not in the greatest situation. Missed out on pole points, missed out on a couple of heat race points, but if anybody's going to do it right now, until Travis Miller is back up here in the top 5, it's got to be Brett Rolls.
Yeah, for sure. Brett, all season long, we've been talking about Brett Rolls getting that first win. He hasn't done it yet. This is his last chance to get it this season. I think that 17R is going to be looking for it. Brian Berger right in front of him. I am thoroughly surprised and impressed by the run that Berger put together on that restart. And we'll see what he can do off this one. But Brett Rolls definitely going to be the guy to watch right here. And who knows what the championship's going to hold for him at the end of this race.
So green flag back out for the entire field. Brian Berger making some work happen here. Goodness, that 60 car has got something rolling this evening. Up to that second spot, just in front of Brett Rolls now. Sider has dropped back to a battle here for 5th, maybe, as Susie comes up the racetrack and gives him a little bit of that right rear. Korea with a bit of contact to Rolls, slings it into the corner on the top side, does the Wild Child, and everybody keeps on rolling.
I got to give a lot of props to Ryan Susie. That was some really close and aggressive. Whoa, Isley got off the ground a little bit back there. Yeah, he got off the ground a little bit. I think we're all okay, though. But, man, Ryan Susi had a really aggressive and good run through those couple corners to move himself now, up into third? I mean, that 38 car is looking pretty solid at this moment in time. Brett rolls to the outside. Going to try to keep things going on the outside, and he gets through pretty easily through 1 and 2. But that's a nice battle. Continuing to shape up. Korea's involved. Sider kind of falling out of it a little bit. Mike Wenner even is getting into the mix a bit.
Yeah, Wenner's up here, Sider, Berger, a lot of really good, feel-good moments, I think, to wrap up the season, at least in this battle, as we round lap 25 now. Oh, contact there with Susi and Korea on the top side. Tanner backs out, maybe gives a shot in the shorts there to Susi, potentially. It's just so close watching these guys go at it for about the 4th, 5th position, even 6th, 7th here in the top 10. Good stuff through and through. Pereira is slow and flipping, and that is a caution.
Yes, that car, that is upside down. That is a tough break for Richard Pereira. This is a guy who really needs a lot of credit for this season. He's had some ups, but he's had some downs, and he's had a few downs, and he's been continuing to come out and do the best he can, try to keep afloat. Yes, he actually has a pretty nice battle going on here in front of Travis Miller.
Oh!
Ooh.
Oh, never want to see that. Every time I see a car hit the tires like that, it brings out a little bit of a comedic response in me. But you never want to see that actually happen to somebody, especially in this case where I think the situation is kind of spurred on by the slightest of contact between he and Travis Miller here. It's not much. It's just enough right there. And he just kind of turns left and gets a lot of that tire.
Yeah, Jeff Sharp and Travis Miller made some contact on the back end of that as well. That's definitely not going to help the 22 car. And I think Sharp's another guy who we need to commend for being able to try to trudge on through tonight. You know,
he was great last week.
Yeah, he was, and he's been great a couple weeks now. He's been successively competitive, but tonight things haven't really started his way. I know, we got plenty of time left in this race, so something can come together for that 28 car, but definitely the last few weeks have been pretty good for Jeff, and tonight so far things haven't really started working in his favor quite yet, but there's plenty of time left.
Our race leader is going to opt to start from the top side of the racetrack this time. That puts Berger down low in second. Third place is Rolls, actually, on the bottom side of row number 2 in third. And then it's fourth there for Susi on the outside of row 2. Green flag is back out, and we are on to lap 27 of 70. It's Hackett rim riding.
Hackett leads. Well, that was a heck of a restart, the way he just jumped off of it a little bit there. Honestly looked kind of like a jump, but Ryan Berger holding on to the inside line. He's got Ryan Susi to his outside as they come past the stripe again. They get one more green flag lap in the books. Korea's kind of up on the wall a little bit, trying to fight on inside the top 5. He's got Brett Rolls to the inside in the 17R. Cardinals in the mix. 31 cars back there as well. Dan Sider's still holding on to at least a top 10 run right now. Joe Matthews starting to move up a little bit. Kind of running in your top 8 right there as everybody's spacing out slowly but surely. In Korea, a heck of a run off the top side.
Yeah, Tanner got moving there for a moment. Still watching the 17. And we've got to. He's the championship story right now. Does he amass enough points in this race to go up there and bring a fight to Brandon Plank? And in case you're curious, in case you don't quite know the situation or hear this earlier, Brandon Plank not here this evening. So he does have a drop week to fall back on, and his worst result was a 9th place points finish, I believe, which is not very bad, that's for sure. And, I mean, it's a matter of how these guys point their totals up. There is one drop week for everybody in the series, and that's been figured in throughout the series, but that drop week is going to change, obviously, and for Plank, it will be tonight, so he's got to rely on everything else throughout the season. And when we tally these points up, we've got to go back and, we just got to wait, really. We got to wait until post-race, and then we'll know how this all stacks up. Problems for Jamie Porter, though, as you saw. He was flipped over in 1 and 2.
Last week's runner-up in the 45 car. He's running the top side of the racetrack. Josh Dombowski to his front, rather. Oh, he got squeezed a little bit by his own teammate right there, and then kind of trudged in from Charlton. Oh, yeah. We know what that was about. That was Travis Miller getting right up close to the mix of that, too. That's what Andrew was looking at right there when they all started bunching up right there. And, Jamie Porter has had some real ups and downs, and today really hasn't been a great day for any of the BP Sports guys. Travis Miller, I don't know. We'll just ride on board and see what happens here.
Man, he does get a little bit of contact, but that's what those bars are made for. That was close.
He did give him the bumper. They're bumpers. They can use them for bumping, but Travis Miller is getting a little bit close for comfort on a lot of these actually. These last cautions have been involved or near Travis Miller that he's been trying to do some avoidance, and he needs these yellows to help him move forward, Andrew, but being involved in them, that's a different story.
Yeah, and he's making up ground slowly but surely. He's up to about the 18th spot. We'll see in a moment once our ticker comes back up. But he's moving forward. It's just a matter of how much more he needs to move forward, I think. And I think the answer to that is a lot. We'll see how this works out. Still just about 40 laps to go as we get the green flag. It's going to be 39 to go.
Nice jump. Straight Jacket really controlling this race right now. Ryan Susi in second, Britt Rolls in third, Korea fourth, Berger fifth. None of these guys have a win this season. All of them looking for their first at the finale. That's a pretty cool story to talk about. We're a little, not even halfway into this race. We're getting close to it, but over time, if these guys stay involved in it, as Susi gets put kind of up in the wall, oh man, top shelf to basement really quick for the 38 car. Glad he held on to it.
Now on the inside of Winter there. Rolls is starting to make some inroads. The 17 is looking good. Made up some ground that lap. Lost it a little bit out of 4. He might be back in the area of Cardinal and Berger now a little more so than Hackett. As Hackett is just running a masterclass this evening on how to race at Charlotte. Sider lunges into the corner on the bottom side there. Really good stuff through and through. 2 wide, 3 wide racing this entire time so far. Charlotte has really shown how good it is in recent months on iRacing.
Yeah, Charlotte is definitely one of the premier iRacing dirt tracks. I think this works in really nicely, and around goes. I believe that's Winner. Yep,
oh
upside
boy,
down.
they're still monster trucking through each other.
That
a lot
yeah,
of contact.
That was a lot of contact, and back on all fours at least for Mike Winner. So he will be able to roll around here and pull into the pits for the repairs. But yeah, they definitely trucked into that a little bit.
So Winter with some big problems out of turn 4. Gets in a little deep, gets into Korea, stacks up. Matthews gets in, then he comes back up into Beagle, goes back down. Boy, he was playing ping ball there for a moment. Pereira and Isley were all over each other. Fritz stayed back there. And Winter just back over.
That was a nice little move for the 23. You think about some of the commentators of general all across the board racing series. There have been some pretty exciting stuff going on there. But Mike Winner, let's say Mike Winner's been pretty solid and consistent. Same with that guy, Joe Matthews. They've been pretty solid and consistent for a while this season. This is not obviously going to play into that, but you can see how long this is going to take for Winner to hold on to this car. And that little tap from Beagle, that was probably the kiss of death right there for the saving that 23 car, and everybody else just piles in.
Just kind of tips right back over. I like that resolution that we had on the speed shot when it all happened live. I like being able to see them tip back over onto their wheels before we take the replay.
That's an important part of it too. It's satisfying for us to watch. We're enjoying it, but it's also important for Winner to be able to get on all fours, not have to tow back to the pits like we saw Travis Miller do earlier, so he can go in, get those repairs and everything, and at least keep up and try to stay on that lead lap for the next restart, which we're coming to right now. So Michael Hackett has been controlling these restarts a lot. We'll see if Brett rolls. Oh, whoa.
Big stack up. The entire field. We're not going green. Are we going green? Are we going? Is that standing? We're going green, I think. No, caution's back out. Caution's back out. Did you think we'd be taking a replay for, well, technically a pace lap?
Man, I don't even know what happened down there, to be completely honest. It was like everything just kind of wadded up together and cars started getting into each other. I'm glad it wasn't green. That was kind of, it took them a minute. Oh, okay, that's fine if it takes you a quick second to get that button out. Oh, catch this back again. Ooh, boy.
What? What's that all about?
I just feel like that's got to be some sort of error, some sort of like hardware or software error, because doesn't it look like the 84H kind of like moves up? That was weird. That was just weird.
Well, here's a look at it. I don't know. I've been on iRacing a long time. I've seen a lot of things on the sim. I've seen a lot of things in real cars. I don't know what that was. I genuinely don't know.
The way it flicks in when they make, not this time, here. I don't know.
Odd.
Yeah, it's even odd if you consider like the contact points of the cars in the sim that he pulled in to Brett Rolls right there. You know, that's not something you would normally expect with the way these cars make contact in iRacing. You wouldn't expect the car to sort of slide into the right like that.
Yeah, I usually try to at least make some kind of conclusion about something, but I have no clue with that one. I really don't know what just happened. Regardless, we're going to re-rack and re-stack. We'll go back after it just past halfway, and look at that. Brett Rolls is now your race leader. I think they might have swapped those two cars around after that issue, and Rolls now leads on 38 of 70.
Rolls going to roll off the bottom side of the racetrack right now. Mike Hackett's been controlling at the top side all the way through this race so far, just past halfway. And finally, the tides have turned a little bit. Brett Rolls leads the way after a pass on the inside. Maybe, somebody sideways on the front stretch.
That was Adam Hilton, and yes, there is a caution for it. I don't see Travis Miller. I do see Scott Fritz, Tyler Pachalski, and the pistol, Jamie Porter. But thankfully, no yellow 22 involved in this. That's... Well, I can't say that for sure just yet, but at least no yellow 22 parked at the end of it. As we will see here in a moment. Oh, it's going to happen right behind Travis Miller.
Yeah, there's Adam Hilton up top right there in the 3A. He's got one win to his name this season. He got in the wall on his own. And Pachalski just slides in, Fritz, Porter, just know where they could go. And upside down, two of them. And I saw Adam Hilton at least try to get to Pachalski to put him back on his lid there. So commending to that. Props to Adam Hilton for trying at least. But Pachalski does reset that car.
Let's watch from the onboard here. Actually, watch the gyro. This will be fun. This will be fun. That's not a view you usually get.
I'm happy and surprised and impressed and everything about the gyro being able to gyroscopically move to the car being completely upside down and staying right side up like that. Like that was a pretty nice little thing to put in there for iRacing to be able to have that happen. Not good for Tyler Pachalski. Don't get me wrong. Tyler Pachalski did not want that to happen, but at least the gyro cam was up to snuff.
Yeah, you know, it's something you kind of take for granted, I feel like. But it is quite cool. I'm sure it's probably not that hard, but for something that isn't used all that often in real life and is kind of special, it's nice to have that anyways. As we get ready to go with just about 30 laps to go, we'll have 31 when we get the green flag. Rolls your leader, trying to put some points together and go for a championship. Plank isn't here tonight. He leads by 27. Green flag is back out.
And it is all 17R at the front. Brett Rolls. Nice restart. Dennis Cardinal to the inside of Michael Hackett. There's a race for second. There's cars around in turn 1 and 2. Rolls controlling to the top side now. Wenner and Pereira involved, and they get things back under control. Wenner's pulling off the racetrack as the yellow flag is back out.
Well, rinse and repeat. They should get a laundry detergent partner, I think, for that.
Even for a dirt racing series, on top of it, don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of brand tie-ins there. This is on board with Mike Wenner. What happens? Oh, okay.
That's not malicious or anything. Well, he just came into the corner a little hot, and that wasn't a big incident. Not too much damage for either of them, at least hopefully. Wenner did pull off the track, but he shouldn't have too much to repair.
No, he's back out there. Has taken his fast fix and is back after it. Brett Rolls them. Will have a single file restart to his advantage when we go back green, and I think one more lap. Yes, pace truck lights are still on. 27 points is a lot to try and make up. This is how they come into tonight. Miller made up a couple of points, and keep in mind, we're not racing to a total of 531. So Plank's drop race currently will now be counted, basically, as his 13th race, his 13th entry in the points totals. He will get some points tonight. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure somebody could figure it out with enough hours, enough time to work the numbers, but that's a little above me right now. And, yeah, we just got to sit back and wait. We just don't know how this is going to work out. Green flag is back out, and Rolls is your leader.
Full Throttle Outdoors, Sean Setup Shop number 17R leading the way. And Brandon Plank's worst finish so far this season was just outside the top 10. Not sure exactly what position that was, but only one finish outside the top 10, so Brett's really got things cut out for him tonight. Those guys getting loose through the corner last time, but they keep things under control. Rolls, Hackett, they lead the way. Dennis Cardinal in third pretty securely. Is Berger and Korea, they seem to have a nice little fight going on for fourth.
Look at Hackett. He's starting to get close to the lead. There's good battles all over the racetrack. Charlotte is racy these days. I will give it to whatever made this happen, whatever update it was that made this happen at Charlotte. It was good as Hackett starts to bring the fight. Looking to the outside, might just have a gap up there. Rolls sees it, does his best to protect. I say sees it, he might not. He might not have seen that at all as Hackett comes up the racetrack, almost shipped it there into the side of the 17, and caution flag flies. I have bad news. A yellow 22 is involved.
Oh, man, Travis Miller and Jeff Sharp on the front stretch again. That's not what Travis needed at all, especially
the car
considering...
looks okay. At this point, we're talking about loss of position over damage.
Yeah, but we're getting also to the end of this race, so
yeah,
we're losing time for him to be able to recover, and that's going to be important for this specific incident. But obviously for Jeff Sharp, too, not a great deal, but we'll just have to check it back. They're 3 wide behind Travis, so kind of surprised Travis is the one involved, but let's see what goes down.
Just kind of comes down, and Beagle is there. I mean, that is absolutely entirely on Travis Miller, and Sharp goes around just trying to miss him. I will say, great job by Jeff Sharp not to hit the guy. That was fantastic.
I was going to say that's kind of one of the deals where Jeff Sharp's sitting in the car and he just kind of, I didn't hit anything because that was, man, he got close. So we'll get catching on board and you'll see it kind of firsthand what Jeff Sharp was dealing with on this one. But there's Miller in the contact and woo.
He probably could have gotten back off the brake and let it roll, but at that point, you're just holding on for dear life and praying to sweet baby Jesus that you don't hit him too hard.
Yeah. That shot kind of reminded me of that scene from Cars where the no-stall car and the leakless car, they come in and they slide to a stop right there with each other, and they're just like staring at each other. That's kind of what that was giving me vibes of, but that was, props to Jeff Sharp for keeping that thing sort of straightened out and out of contact. That was important for Travis Miller, too, to avoid that contact.
Niagara Go-Karts bringing you this evening's championship finale at the dirt track at Charlotte. Brett Rolls, your race leader. Michael Hackett, second place, and green flag is back out. We'll do it all over again. Lap 45, now 70.
Nice jump for Brett this time, but it's going to be interesting to see what Michael Hackett's going to do. We saw him have such a good run off the last restart and be able to catch up in due time to the 17R. He's right there. I mean, they're 3 wide for the race lead. So, Dennis Cardinal had to back out a little bit, but Hackett, he's making the middle. Whoa, Rolls got up into the wall a lot. And there's Korea. There's Korea making a little bit of noise.
Rolls back on through to the race lead for now, but Hackett's got a much better driving race car right now. He's got something rolling as Cardinal enters this fight in the top 3. Susie and Korea back in it.
Almost a slider. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa from Michael Hackett. He did keep him out of the way of Brett Rolls. Some really good racing going on right now with Straight Jacket to be aggressive.
Boy.
Oh, no. Yellow's back out.
Matt DeRitter involved. Looks like Miller gets another piece. Slight as well. Lots going on in the back.
Pretty heavy for Alan Slight, too, by the looks of it. But DeRitter was the one around at that first look, so we'll see the replay of who got into who and what kind of transpired. But Matt DeRitter seems to be the central system of this caution, and we'll see what happens into the corner. Slight.
Isley pops into the 88J of Josh Abowski. Miller, at least, limits the contact again, but, oh man, does get more contact.
This is, that's tough for Travis. That's just tough for Travis. This is not going the way he needs it to with these yellows. I mean, he needs these yellows to give himself sort of a gimme spot every once in a while, and then to be able to have opportunities to make a couple passes. But at the same time, you know, you really can't be involved in them. And even that little bit to the back of Slight, that's just really not what Travis Miller needs to keep this momentum to be able to fight and move back up to the front and hope to have a contention, a fight for Brett Rolls.
We'll get another restart. Coming to just over 20 to go. Let's see, I'm trying to do math. I think 23. Yeah, there'll be 23 laps to go when we get this restart of 70. Niagara Go-Karts bringing you this one. Green flag back out.
Goes Brett Rolls to the top side. Michael Hackett right behind him. Same thing as last time. I feel like I think Hackett's a little better right now, sort of all around. He made the middle work before. Rolls kind of goes to defend in 3 and 4. Here they come out of 4. We'll see. It's going to be Rolls at the line again, though.
Brett Rolls still leading. Michael Hackett second place. Dennis Cardinal third. Susie fourth. And then it's Korea, Vigo, Matthews, Sider, and Hilton doing some battle back here in the back end of the top 10. Sider now goes way down to the bottom side, makes it 3 with Matthews in the middle. The 3 car of Hilton way up top, won at Fairbury a couple of weeks ago. Isley back here. A lot of great battles through the entire field as it is officially 20 laps to go for the entirety of this field and this championship. Brett Rolls leading, has done so quite a bit today, bringing the fight to Michael Hackett. But it's a matter of bringing it to Brandon Plank, and look at Hackett challenge all the way down the corner that time.
Hackett got a little bit of a nice run off of a little bit of tackiness in the middle of the racetrack. Maybe a slider, not going to get there. Rolls, powers around the outside. Cardinals kind of watching all this go down, saying, I'm going to give myself a little bit of breathing room right now. I don't want to be involved in whatever goes down with these 2 black, blue, and orange machines leading the way. Rolls gets about a car length at the stripe this time over Straight Jacket as they're still looking at each other. Good looks on the top side of the racetrack. Rolls leads Hackett. Will Hackett dive? No, Hackett goes to the top. Rolls goes to the middle. Is this going to give some momentum to the 84H? This is what he needs right now. He needs to get right back into the grasp and give himself a run again. And look who's coming up strong on the bottom.
Travis Miller trying to make things happen. He's into 13th, battling for 12th there with Pereira. If he can get back to the inside, he does. This is important. This is your guy with the best chance of beating Brandon Plank, but he needs to get back up there. He needs to lead laps. He needs to win this race if he's going to do it. Contact there with Pereira, that's not going to help him.
They keep it clean. Props to everybody here. DeRitter kind of got out of the way, said, I do not want to be a part of that situation. Miller goes to the middle. Contact from Pereira behind. He will stay in front of the 96 at the line at least, so that's going to be able to put him to the top side of the racetrack. He's kind of starting to knock on the door, maybe getting into the top 10 again, so things are starting to work to the favor of the 22, and he's being able to catch up to these guys. Will he be able to continue the momentum? That's the big question.
Yeah, but top 10 isn't going to do it. You have to win this race if you want to win this championship. And that's just to have a chance at it. We don't know how points are going to tally out just yet. Isley comes back up. This is now a fight for 11th as there's a gaggle up ahead. This is a pretty cool vantage point, but if you're Travis Miller, you want it to be completely devoid of race cars in all of the right ways. You want the mirror to be filled up, not the windshield.
Back to the outside of the racetrack right here. He kind of hit the wall a little bit, but he set himself up nicely through 1 and 2. He does put the 18 at least temporarily behind him, and there he goes. He's going to complete that pass and move right on to the 88 of Tyler Joshambowski to the inside. Whoa, look out. Joshambowski got really close to the Berger's rear end in the 60 machine, but he does fall to the fall. Not sure what that's about. Travis Miller, he's going to keep going on the top side of the racetrack. I'm surprised there's enough grip even up there still.
Hilton and Matthews battling just ahead of these guys. Sider there. Berger comes up. It is lap 60 after all, as our leaders start to draw closer. Rolls and Hackett are the 2 out front. Rolls with a chance at the championship. Hackett wants to win his first race. I mean, so does Rolls. Each of these guys in the top 5 want to win their first race of the season. Each of these guys in the top, top 7, top 6 now.
Yeah, this is the Joe Matthews in 6th place. He's the furthest one back of this group that has not won. One win so far for Adam Hilton, and how about that? Adam Hilton, the only winner this season in the top 10 at the moment. But Michael Hackett, man, he's been putting on a stellar run right now. He's falling back a little bit into the grasp of Tanner Correa. Correa's been looking for a strong run this season, hasn't even gotten a top 3 yet. And now he's looking at maybe popping into second here as we close in on the end of the race here at Charlotte, the Niagara Go-Karts presented event.
Oh, and Miller's in it. That's it. That is a championship run potentially done for Travis Miller. He's not happy. He's already escaped. He's escaped. He's disconnected. He's done. I
don't blame him for the frustration right there after that monster run he was putting together, going around everybody. We'll catch the replay back, see what happens.
Contact with Sider and Josh Ambowski, and he just gets run over from behind Isley. Big time into the back of the 22 car. And that is the weirdest way a car has been pitched on its side. He escapes quick, gets on out of there.
I can't give a ton of... I can't say a ton about Gavin Isley because he's running the top side. This track's slick. You're carrying a lot of momentum through this corner, and this happens so fast in front of you. I mean, he was trying to get that car woed down and out of the way, but just didn't have enough space and time, really, to get the car pitched sideways and around the very dynamic situation going on in front of him. But how about Dan Sider? That's also a tough break for the 77. Obviously, not quite as tough as Travis Miller, but definitely, Dan put together a really strong run at the beginning of this feature, and tough break for the pole sitter of this race.
We will have just 7 laps to go when we get this green flag. So a 10th of this race left. Pace truck is to the safety of pit lane in the infield. Brett Rolls, your race leader. We're single file now. We're inside of 10 to go. Let's get this race restarted. Rolls nice and quickly. Back green.
Single file to the top side. Hackett in line with Brett Rolls. Thunder and pass. Here we go. Down the back stretch again. Rolls goes to the middle. Correa's right there. Beagle's right there too. Where'd that 84 come from? He's on the bottom side of the racetrack. Gets a little bit of love from the 31 machine. They're inside the top 5. Joe Matthews right there as well, but kind of out of reach of these guys. Correa's trying to put something together and get back up to Hackett. Seems like Brett Rolls kind of cleared and gone in the lead.
5 laps left for a championship, maybe, for Brett Rolls. Brandon Blank couldn't make this one. Put together 13 fantastic races. Never finished outside the top 10. His worst finish of 9th will count for tonight. Rolls, meanwhile, only 1 finish, 2 finishes outside of the top 5 at all. Almost completely mirrored seasons. Those two have been the best easily all season long, with Travis Miller in the wake. And now a caution flag is going to set up for one more restart for Brett Rolls to maybe, and I mean maybe, have enough points to beat Brandon Blank.
I'll tell you, Brett Rolls has been so strong this season. And, I mean, we get down to the end of things right here. It's important to note that now Brett Rolls and Brandon Blank brought in the same amount of top 5s this season. I mean, they both had 11. As you're seeing the replay here, Hilton just got up into the wall on his own. DeRitter got into him. Slight got into him. I think Isley... Josh Ambowski got into him, too. Isley got into a mix with Sharp on the bottom. A lot of cars involved in this crash. But Blank and Rolls, their seasons they're pretty close. So this is getting interesting. Brandon has a lot more wins, but Rolls had some pretty good consistency along this season, too. We'll just have to wait and see what shapes up.
Yeah, it was the 4 wins for Blank that put things together. And I think just a few more, obviously, firsts, maybe a few seconds that just put the season together better than Rolls. I mean, fantastic season for the 17R. A lot of drama, a lot of moments where he almost won races, but in the end, certainly just not enough to go for a championship. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. It's just not quite been enough. It was never quite enough to get a win. This has easily been his best race, I think, and even this isn't guaranteed just yet. 23 laps led, and who knows? That 84 has been so good, but as the track has dried out, he's just fallen off a little bit. We'll have 3 laps if Hackett's going to say anything about it. 3 laps to get this race settled and finish up a season well done for the BRP iRacing Series. Brought to you this evening by Niagara Go-Karts. Green flag is back out at Charlotte.
heck of a restart. That might have been the restart to wrap things up right there. Joe Matthews, I thought he might get a little bit of Ryan Beagle. As we go on board, watching out the back of your race leader, he's going to come to the line. 2 laps to go. He runs the middle of the racetrack. Hackett and Correa, oh man, they almost touch up the top side. Here it is, 2 to go, and they're all pent up for the whole top 5. Actually, is a pretty good race, except for the leader. Brett Rolls has things under control, pretty solid down the back stretch.
This win is going to mean everything to Brett Rolls. He'll tie things up in the win column in one more lap if he holds on with Travis Miller as the white flag is out by Whiplash Media Simcams. 1/4 mile left to go for the 17. Through just 3 and 4, Hackett can't do anything about it. It is finally a race win, but is it enough for Brett Rolls?
Hey, let's give it to him. He did it. He broke through. He got that win he needed, he wanted. All season he waited. Brett Rolls is a BRP iRacing Series Big Block Modified race winner.
You can see the congratulations there from Hackett. That is all congratulatory. That is not out of any kind of malice, any kind of malintent. That is just congratulatory, finally, for the Full Throttle Outdoors 17R getting a race win. And they escape early. I don't think they know what to do. I think that's a new position maybe for the 17 as he finally gets that race win. We will take a step aside because, well, we don't know what's going to happen. We have to do some tallying here before we really know what's going to happen. Once we know, we will go ahead and bring drivers in for interviews. So please bear with us here. We are going to wait at least for Brett Rolls until we have points sorted. Then, and it will still be unofficial for the time being, then we will bring these guys in, talk to them, and wrap up this season. But, yeah, points, they matter a whole lot. Bear with us here. We're going to get that sorted out here on Pit Stop TV and be right back to you. Welcome back to the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. 70 laps of feature racing done and dusted, and we can confirm that Brandon Plank is your champion. We'll consider that still somewhat unofficial, just to be safe, but I'd say it's going to happen at this point, Joe. Brandon Plank is your champion of this season's BRP iRacing series, which is weird. Usually we talk at length with the champion afterwards, and tonight we're not going to be able to talk to him at all. That's a first for us, certainly. That's a little bit different. But we can talk to the next best guy, literally the guy who finishes things up in second place in the standings. And finally, the guy that we can introduce as a feature race winner in this BRP iRacing series. Brett, first off, congratulations. Secondly, consolation, maybe. You were close. Not quite enough for the championship, but you finally get a race win.
Yeah, we talked to Travis Miller a little bit before the race started and just asked him if he knew what the point situation was. And, he pretty much said, it would take a perfect night from both of us and we'd still come up 3 points short. So first and foremost, congrats to Brandon Plank for his championship. Hell of a season, man. It does suck that you couldn't be here to finish it out, but congratulations to him and everybody that helps him and gets it done.
Yeah, I wasn't totally sure on the numbers myself, so I left it open, and it's like, maybe it still happens. Numbers can be weird sometimes, but it was always going to take that perfect night. From the beginning, you didn't qualify where you wanted to. What was the game plan?
Pretty much, it's kind of funny. I was talking to Travis after qualifying. I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you got second place in point because I'm second to last on the qualifying charts. We pretty much... There's no other way to put it. We just stepped on it hard in qualifying and got lucky through the heat race, was able to avoid some stuff and, started 8th in the feature. And pretty much we knew what the cards were. We had to have, a couple of spots over Miller due to the qualifying and the heat race points. It really sucks to see Miller have the night that he had tonight. I was kind of hoping to be able to race it out with him rather than to see him, end up on his lid and struggle as much as he did tonight. But most importantly, we just had a solid car tonight. It's been a little chaotic week for us. We got with a new team. We had some personal issues go on with the team that we were at, and came back home to the team where everything first started. So it's kind of nice to get a championship night feature win with a new team. So first and foremost, got to thank Har Motorsports. Got to thank my buddy Andrew Smith up in Lockport, New York with Full Throttle Outdoors. Check his videos out on YouTube and Facebook. I got to thank AJ Petrobowski for painting this car. I also got to thank my other buddy Eric Tupper for painting me the orange car that we had ran earlier in the season. And, just want to thank Corby for putting this on and you guys for doing the broadcast.
So you finally get a race win in the championship evening, brought to you by Niagara Go-Karts. How do you look then on the season as a whole? Ups and downs, I think, certainly would have to be a big part of the focus.
Yeah, I'd say some ups and downs. Had a couple of run-ins this season. It just didn't seem like we could find victory lane all year long, so kind of glad that we were able to at least, get the monkey off our back here before the season's end. But yeah, I mean, ups and downs, I'd say, we had a couple of bad races, but, we're able to keep the top 5 streak alive there. So I think that's primarily what helped us out in the points, was just being able to stay so consistent.
And you were always consistent. I think that's why we kind of looked down on the season, just because you guys were so far back, but you were still so fantastic in your own rights. I think that just really exemplifies how good the 77 was. So how do you build on that? How do you chase the 77 next season? How do you go out there and beat him next season with one season now under your belt?
Well, Brandon's a hell of a driver. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, him and Travis, it basically took, being on top of your game every single week to even be able to fight for the top 3 in points. Travis and Brandon are going to be tough regardless next season, just as much as they were this season. But I definitely think that there was a couple of races that we had the chance at winning that we threw away. But other than that, just trying to stay consistent again, and hopefully we can find ourselves in victory lane a little more frequently.
Well, Brett, it's a matter of just a few points when it comes down to it. That's how fantastic all 3 of you guys were. It was The unofficial count, 11 points, and that's not very much when you consider 14 nights of racing. Pat yourself on the back, have a cold one, enjoy the evening, and relax a little bit because a new season is on the way. Buddy, congratulations on second place in the points and a win finally, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Brett Rolls with Full Throttle Outdoors on the side of that car. Finally, I think can rest a lot easier with a race win under his belt, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's big for him, and it's really great to see. We've been waiting all season for him to get that breakthrough, and we're going to get to talk to another guy we've been waiting for a while to see a breakthrough with, and that is a breakthrough into the top 3. Michael Hackett. It finally happened. Runner-up. You had a car that was very good and led a lot of laps in this race, but first top 3 of the season, finally getting in there, finally getting to talk to us after a race. That's got to feel pretty nice too.
Yeah, it does. Car was definitely hooked up tonight. That one glitch when the caution came out before it even went green really screwed me, I feel like, but it happens.
Well, you certainly had this car, set up. You were rocking. What kind of practice, preparation, emotion, what did you bring into this race that really separated this performance from some of the other ones? You've been strong all season, had a lot of really great potential runs that some, you got a top 5 out of. Some things didn't go quite right, but the whole way through this race, you were able to hold on to it. What did you do to prepare yourself to be in this position?
Just a lot of practice. To be honest, about 4 to 5 weeks ago, I got new pedals, and they've really, really helped me out a lot compared to what I was running. Eldora, I had a chance to stay up front. Plank is always consistent and good. He comes from the back, he stays up front. He's a really good driver. We definitely missed him tonight.
Yeah, that is true. We did, but he still, he held on up front. But you as well, we have to talk about your season a little bit. You definitely got things together and were able to start really moving throughout the whole season. Especially, you look at your heat wins. 5 heat wins on the season. There are only 2 drivers who've got more in the entire series. 7 top 10s. Obviously, this is your first top 3, but you got 3 top 5s all season long as well. It's got to feel pretty good. How do you feel sort of as a closure state for the way these 14 races went for you, and what do you look to bring forward as you move into maybe competing with the midgets in these guys next season, or just what do you gain from this whole experience? What have you learned?
It's been a roller coaster. Like you said, I've placed pretty high in the heats. Qualifying have been good. It's just a couple of these weeks I couldn't stay out of everyone's way. It's just unfortunate because I know this car and the team has been working pretty hard. So
yeah, maybe you can talk sort of on the other end of who's really helping you get yourself together to be able to contend with these races. We know, it sort of takes an army to be able to contend in these BRP iRacing series events. Who's helping you get that 84H set up and being able to contend for these top 3s and top 5s you've been getting now?
Even though it's fixed, Elite Performance Industries, it's a setup shop on iRacing, opened about 5 or 6 months ago. Ever since I got with them, I got faster, even in fixed stuff, because just hanging out in their Discord, they show you lines that you wouldn't even think of. They show you how to run the top. They show you how to drag the brake in the bottom. They're just a really good group of guys. And then I got to thank Park Home Improvement, RW Taylor, and then HCM Motorsports.
Well, sounds good, Michael. We appreciate everything this season. It's been a heck of a run. Nice to see you every night of the season and being able to finally cap it off with the top 3 finish. Got to feel pretty good. Congratulations on, let alone the top 3, just being able to make it all the way to Charlotte and to make it to the end of this season.
Thank you, and thank you guys for putting this on. And I got to say one thing before I go, just to get under his skin. Go Bills.
Oh, this guy.
Oh, man. Oh, that'll do it. There you go. There's.
Hey, respect for a season well done. I will say that.
Yes. Have a good one, guys.
Well, there you go. You get ruffle the feathers a little bit, Andrew. I liked that. That was tasteful from the runner-up finisher tonight.
Yeah, we haven't had that one in a while. It's been a little bit, actually, since we've been able to have some Patriots-Bills banter there with Michael Hackett. I always appreciate that. Honestly, I'd forgotten about it a little bit. I'd kind of forgotten. I knew somebody in here was a Bills fan, but it just wasn't coming to mind exactly who it was, and, well, yeah, it's that guy. As he finishes second, there was one guy right behind him that almost had a chance to finish second. It is the Creative Turnings number 11 of Tanner Correa. And Tanner, there we go. Finally, a top 3. Finally, you're talking to us after one of these races. A lot of bad luck this season. How'd you do it tonight?
Well, first off, hello. But anyways, I think I just kept out of trouble for once. I mean, I feel like the whole second half of this season, I've had a really fast car, and I get to top 5, and then usually restarts are a big problem for me. But tonight I was able to make it work.
Yeah, I feel like we need name tags here. We haven't talked all season. Don't take that the wrong way, but I mean, I don't think we've talked to you since Charlotte Media Day, way back in November. It's been a long season, a really big season here in the BRP iRacing series, and I think that includes the number 11 and everything that Creative Turnings has done with this series, and I think a lot of growth, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, there's definitely been improvement for me every single week. I'm just glad to get a podium. That's just pretty much it.
And so obviously this is a really good, I think, for foundation-setting season for Creative Turning's involvement with the series. We hadn't seen that name on the tag list before, but now we do, and I'm sure it's only going to go higher, potentially, now that you guys are fully invested within Beef Esports and the BRP iRacing series, and I think certainly that the sky is the limit now with that partnership.
Yeah, of course. My father, he's a great guy. He even said for next season that the sponsorship is already set up and ready to go, so hopefully we can keep it going next year and get a lot more wins.
And I know you want to talk about you and the Wild Child and how you did this season. Let's go ahead and do so now. I know it wasn't maybe the season that you initially wanted, but we each have kind of hit on this already. So definitely some growth and things to build on. What specifically do you feel like you need to build on or you want to build on the most for whatever comes next, whatever car we have next?
It's definitely going to be the restarts, no question about it. I think the past 3 weeks I've been running top 5, and every single restart I drop back either 2 or 3 spots. And the way this year was running, we would have a caution like maybe every single 5 laps. So it really hurt me in the long run.
And we haven't talked much about that recently, but we've asked drivers before, what is it like trying to navigate all of that melee in the midfield and trying to escape some of those restarts when everybody starts to get desperate because you've had a bunch of cautions in a row?
It's definitely exciting, that's for sure. I mean, I have fun with it and everything, but sometimes it gets a little bit too hectic for me. I just like to be in my own little groove, and when we have a caution very quickly, I get out of it, and then that's where you see me starting to fall back.
Well, Tanner, congratulations on, I think, a season well done. This is your first time, at least, I think, first full season in the series, right?
We're in the late model series.
Okay, but you know what? It all becomes this long blur for me at times. But regardless, it's another really good season, I would say, and putting yourself on a good platform to jump up next season. And I very much look forward to seeing how that goes for the number 11 car. Buddy, congratulations, like I said, on a pretty good season, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Santa Korea with a 3rd place finish this evening. Again, I think just a lot to be happy with if you're that number 11 or anybody on the side of that car. I see TCM Gaming there. I'd imagine that's Santa Korea Motorsports Gaming. If I had to go on a limb and guess, MDR Designs, Beef Esports. I see C&C something there on the engine cover there. Creative Turning is obviously the biggest logo. A lot to grow on for the 11 car, and I think that's a good point to leave off on, at least with driver interviews, as somebody that we haven't talked to yet this season, Joe, and somebody that is looking to grow for whatever comes next.
Yeah, and there was a lot of growth this season, I think, for Tanner, especially, making the move to officially be a part of Beef Esports. That moment when he switched, I think it was Bristol, that first race afterwards, that was a big switch for him and a big move up in everything, in the rankings of this series and stuff. So it was a great season for him and a great season for the rest of these guys too. Brett Rolls coming home with the race win. Michael Hackett in 2nd, Tanner Korea in 3rd. Those 3 we got to talk to. Dennis Cardinal back on the block, and he was ready to rock. He rocked home a 4th place finish in the 31. Ryan Beagle rounds out the top 5. Joe Matthews solid for another top 10. Greg, he's been pretty good. He really did wrap up this season with a lot of top 10 runs, a very consistent drive from the 9 car. Brian Berger got 7th. That's a great finish for him. I believe only his 2nd top 10 of the season. Richard Pereira actually got 8th. Wow. That's a really nice run to the front again for Richie. Mike Wenner and Matt DeRitter, 9th and 10th. They round out the final top 10 of the season.
Before we continue with your unofficial race results from Championship Night at Charlotte, brought to you by Niagara Go-Karts, let's talk a little bit about Niagara Go-Karts. You can find more information, firstly, at gokartsniagara.com, where you'll find stuff about Niagara Go-Karts and Mini Putt located at 7104, that is 7104 Kinsman, not Kingsman, at least not what I was provided, Kinsman Court, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Race your friends side by side on Niagara's biggest and fastest go-kart track for 3 free laps. You can visit gokartsniagara.com. And just a little preview here, Joe, that we were handed. It looks fantastic. I mean, it's not your kind of rinky-dink indoor go-kart track. No, this is GoPro Motorplex levels of really, really cool. So if you're in that area, I think that, one thing that a lot of my friends talk about when they come down to Charlotte is they want to go go-kart racing at that track in Mooresville. So if you are in that area or you are visiting that area, this, I think, has to take equally high a level on your to-do list when you visit the Niagara Falls area, especially on the Ontario side, because we know that can be finicky these times. GoKartsNiagara.com. If I ever end up there in Ontario, and specifically in this area, Joe, I think this is now something that is going to head my to-do list. It's always fun to go go-kart racing, especially with a bunch of your friends or even randoms that you don't quite know. More information, gokartsniagara.com, and get those 3 free laps around the racetrack. Scott Fritz comes home 11th, Gavin Isley in 12th, Jeff Sharp 13th, Tyler Josh Bowski 14th, Jamie Porter 15th. In the back 5 of your top 20 include Dan Sider, Alan Slight, Adam Hilton, unfortunately Travis Miller, and Ryan Susi. 2 guys that had really good days, especially Susi, I guess for both of them, especially Miller though, who needed to have today go right, needed to win this race, and unfortunately, early contact with Scott Fritz really just set him on a downward spiral.
Yeah, that was a tough break. That was tough to watch everything kind of unfold like that for him. Looking back in the rest of the order, a couple other guys that had some unfortunate turnings for this race: Hunter Holberg in 21st, Corby Daniels 22nd, Tyler Pachelski 23rd, and Dean Meitzler in 24th. A couple of these guys having connection issues and other incidents. We talk about the big names at the front of the grid because that's a big talking point for the night. You want to see those championship contenders have a great night, and it did not go the way of Travis Miller. But these guys too. I mean, it's the last race of the season. It's your last chance to get out there and try to finish on a high note, and you don't want to have a night like this. So that's a tough break for all these guys to finish up their season in these situations as well.
So that does it. 14 races done. Joe, what are your final thoughts here after this season of BRP iRacing Series competition?
Well, the first thought I have isn't really about the series. It's actually about Niagara go-karts. I'm trying to remember the last time I was in the Niagara Falls area. I'm pretty sure I remember driving past Niagara go-karts. I either drove past it or we were driving past like the field they were building it in. I have to do a little more research on that. But in terms of the BRP series, it's been a heck of a road. You think back to Lernerville when we went to that Pete Costco Memorial and did all those 117 laps back in November. I was still in college. Holy cow. And then you drive the whole way through the season with the bigger tracks, the shorter tracks, the banks, the flatter ones, everything that we've gone through. We've seen a lot of different winners. I mean, we saw, back at the start of the season, Garrett Zacharias really had things together with Brandon Plank as well. And then the middle of the season where Andrew Clark got on his nice stretch, DeRitter getting his first win at Lanier, that was so cool. Bristol, Fairbury, the kind of wacky stuff going on. Brandon Plank got 2 wins in 3 weeks to bring us back to Charlotte, where we wrap things up here at the start of February. It's been a heck of a road. It's been fun. These guys really do try to put together a great environment and a great series, and there's a lot of really close racing. I know we've had some races where there were caution problems, but there's always a good battle out on track, and these guys really do care about putting a good battle out there to have some fun on Monday nights. There's a lot of these guys who use this sort of as a stress reliever or just a little break. The world we live in, you need a break every once in a while, and these guys got the opportunity this winter to enjoy it and share that with everybody else. It's been a heck of a ride. It's been wonderful to be here, and it was a good time. Enjoyed a lot of these really great racetracks, and it's been a good time. Glad to have been part of it. Glad to have been able to stand beside you for all of it, Andrew.
And on the subject of first-time race winners or infrequent race winners. You know, we had Jimmy Porter go back to victory lane in race 5 at Knoxville, a place that seems to kind of favor wild cards. If you recall, in the late model season, that's where Dean Meisler really shone through and showed that, yeah, he does have the stuff to contend. He just needs, I think, the right things to come together on a race night. We also, as you kind of touched on, had that race win from Matt DeRitter in race 10 at Lanier. Then we had the first-time winner again at Adam Hilton at Fairbury. Yeah, I mean, we had several really good stories, I think, really good race winners, and of course the bits of domination from Andrew Clark and Garrett Zacharias early, and Brandon Plank, I think, throughout, especially late in the season. He really shone through, I think, this back half. It was the 98 and the 77X, really, that were the two cars to beat, I think, all season long. You could throw the 71 in there for a while. Just a lot of really good racing. I know it always has its moments where it's like, man, we're getting a lot of yellows, but those are guys that are passionate about what they're doing here in this series, and even though it gets a few negative connotations, they are guys driving their hearts out, driving 100%, not wanting to give an inch, and just trying to be the first to the checkered flag, and it definitely shows that each of these guys is out here to try and get to the checkered flag before anybody else. It's always really, really good competition. I like how Brett Rolls put it, basically, that he's got to go 100% every single week with guys like Brandon Plank and Travis Miller out there fighting for a championship. And we've seen that in seasons prior with Maxime Plant and Travis Miller, and at some point, it's going to come back together for the 22 car, I think. It's been since that first season of sprint cars, but at some point, it's going to come back together, and he is going to have a championship in this series. Again, it's just a matter of when, and the right things going right for him, I think. There are a lot of broadcasts coming up here on Pit Stop TV. I hate that we have to kind of quickly shift gears and talk about what's next, even though, you know, championship nights are the nights to reflect. There is a lot coming up. There is always a lot coming up, it feels like. Believe me, I get to set a lot of it up. We've got the BSR and BSRTC right back on the slate, as per usual. It's Silverstone National this week on Tuesday and Thursday, and sandwiched smack dab in the middle of that there, Joe, there's another logo on there that we haven't seen in a while since about mid-December. The Outlaws Sim Series is making a return, and it's a big return. The next-gen cars that we saw in the Norctona 500 just not even a week ago, yeah, they're back because they're running the entire season of the Outlaws Sim Series in those cars. So even more hype for us, I think, about that series, certainly. And we've seen, I guess, two good chances to see the next-gen car in action. It was the Norctona 500 and the LA Clash this past weekend, the Busch Light Clash. So if those are anything to go off of, the Outlaw Sim Series this season is going to be a must-watch through and through and through and through, and I'll keep saying through and through and through. A lot of great races coming up. I believe it's a 36 race season again, which is a lot from February all the way to November, and it's only going to accentuate what we have going on here on Pit Stop TV alongside leagues like the British Sim Racers on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys, make sure you keep up. You're going to want to keep up with all this stuff. Make sure you go check out the Facebook. Just search up Pit Stop TV. Use the link you see down at the bottom of the screen at @PitStopTV_ on Twitter. Get lots of great updates over there. Instagram at @Pit_Stop_TV. Search that up. You get all the beautiful shots. Emerson's working really hard over there for the BRP stuff. There's a couple other guys within Pit Stop TV who make things happen. And then obviously come onto the YouTube page, watch the stream, stick in things, and just, be a part of the action. Hit the bell, get the notifications when we go live. All this great work. We just finished up the season with BRP, but the action does not stop on the service. You want to make sure you follow on all of the great social media platforms to keep up with everything going on the rest of this week and the rest of the weeks moving forward.
And let's just reflect once more on Brandon Plank and the season he put together this season. Just incredible. 4 wins, the most of anybody in the series. Obviously the most points, but it comes down to it with that drop week especially. Just put together almost a dream season. I mean, honestly, even if you were to take the drop week out, Joe, he would still be second in points. He would still be fantastic by every, I think, stretch of that word. The season he put together was simply amazing. 27 points was the gap coming into tonight, and it narrowed up a little bit, but not enough for anybody to say anything about it. He is a champion and adds his name to a growing list of champions here in the BRP iRacing series. That is it, though, That is 14 races done. That is 14 races of a lot of preparation on our side, on the league side, on the driver's sides, on the team sides. It all comes down to what we saw this evening. If you missed it, we invite you to go back and watch it. If you were here with us for it, we certainly appreciate you having been here. And even if you're just now popping out of the stream, maybe, for example, we appreciate you very, very much for being here this evening and watching along for coverage of the BRP iRacing series. And we hope you go back and watch things along and become a regular viewer of Pit Stop TV and the BRP iRacing series. For this season, that is it. I am Andrew Cardinale IV, Joe Donahue alongside Emerson Arden here as well. We had guys like Caleb Gladney and Ed Schurer joining us this season at different points. I want to say Jay Cook maybe even. We had several people helping things out as per usual, and several great partners here with the BRP iRacing series. For the final time this season, here they are. Of course, Bicknell Racing Products, let's not forget MDR Designs or Jam Performance. You got Lindy Direct, the largest specialty gas supplier in the world, and of course, Creative Turnings of Waterford, Connecticut, and the Super Dirt Car Series. And of course, tonight's presenting partner, Niagara Go-Karts. Our own partners here at Pit Stop TV, they include the likes of Tucson Sound Art, Your Picture, Your Music. Use promo code PitStopTV at checkout for 10% off of your order today at TucsonSoundArt.com, as well as Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, where you deserve the best care that money can buy. Whiplash Media and Whiplash SimCams, the official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV, and of course, BAM Racing Videos by a race fan for the racing community. Joe Donahue, that is it. That's a season of coverage done here at Pit Stop TV. It's always fun in a weird kind of way to wrap up a season, call it well and done, and a season well done. I hope everybody can agree on here at the BRP iRacing series. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. We've enjoyed being here with you. We've enjoyed everybody's company, and we will see you next time. Good night.